Artist on call. Artist on call.
We are here with Keanu Domini from Corpus Christi, Texas. How are you doing, Keanu?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm great, man. It's it's still cold here in the Northeast. You're kind of lucky. You probably still got warm weather down there in Texas. Now, who are some of your influences growing up and stuff? Or even still, do you still have some of the same?
Yeah, I mean, growing up, my mom played a lot of like 80s pop. My dad played 80s rock. Saw 8 Mile when I was like 8 years old and introduced me to hip hop. And then when I was like 14, that's when I really decided I wanted to be a rapper. I'm 19 now. And I don't know. I just, I have a lot of influences in hip hop. It would be like the person who inspired me to really start rapping would probably be Logic. I was 14 and I was like painting a house with my dad in the summertime, and I was listening to like some early Logic on the come up when he was on the come up, and it's like a light bulb just went off in my head, and I was like, dude, I want to rap. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna do it. All I know is that I'm gonna do it, and that's like the only thing in my life that I didn't second guess, and I never looked back.
Well, it's kind of cool you mentioned Logic, because when I listen to your music, I don't really sense that. But now that you say that, I could see where you're going with your music. Like, I see what you're doing. You're taking different strategies, not necessarily that Logic had, but I could see the influence now, and you're blending it with like today's hip hop, which is really cool. Because I mean, out of any influence you could have, especially within the past decade, Logic would be one of the best ones. So I could easily agree with that 100%. What was it about Logic, or what is it about Logic that you really attach yourself to?
I don't know. There's just a connection there. It's kind of hard to explain.
Like it's like relatable in a way, like the story wise and the flow wise, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, 100%. I'm the same way, dude. Same way. And when you started writing poetry, like, what were some of the topics that sparked in your head to write poetry back then? Because that's how you started rapping, right? Was you started with poetry?
Yeah. I wrote poetry on the bus on the way to school. At first, it's like I would look out the window and I would kind of like just describe like what I was seeing, and then it went from that to like kind of tapping into my emotions, and then eventually it just ended up turning into rap over a few months, and yeah.
That's something I could relate on, dude. Like, that's how I started too with rapping, was poetry. Difference is, I mean, it could be a difference, could not be. Mine was all about relationships. Like, I literally, like, that was part of like my tradition back in high school. And like, obviously, if like any girls that knew me in high school are listening to this, are probably laughing their ass off right now, because they most likely got a poem from me, or read to them over the phone or something. They got a poem. Everybody had a freaking poem, and everybody had a poem until about a few years ago, and they disappeared. I don't know where the hell they went. But either way, like, that's how I started, and it was like similar situation, and it was like the expression, and then it turned to rap. Now, did you find yourself writing poetry about like hardships or anything like that, or was it just mainly like more on the artistic side, like green leaves and like like what you're seeing,
Trees and blue skies?
Yeah.
No, yeah, I rapped about. I wrote about some hardships. I don't know. I guess growing up, I felt like I never really fit in, and it made me feel some type of way. And I kind of got bullied like growing up, so I would like write about that. I just kind of felt like there is something that always kind of like set me apart, meaning like I just felt like I couldn't like fit in with like anyone else. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I just felt like
Different.
Yeah, I just felt different. That's a good way to put it. And I guess I wrote about that.
It's such a cool thing though, because it's kind of like coming from like a relatable perspective. Like, it's like almost like a superpower, when you could write poetry to express yourself. It's like, dude, I could literally take anything on. I'm sure you felt the same way. Like, come at me, like, break my heart, do whatever you got to do. I'm going to get out of it because I got this way to express myself that nobody else that I know, like friend wise, has. You know, like, is that kind of how you felt? Like different?
Yeah. So like, I mean, yeah, you couldn't have said it better. Stuff started happening to me. I kind of just took it as like inspiration that I could use for material or just something that I could like jot down. Not that I wanted like bad stuff to happen, but like I kind of changed my perspective. Like, oh, this sucks. To like, hey, this could like, I mean, I could like turn this pain into something, and that's what I did.
Now, what is it about 361 Function, your song, that caused such traction compared to the other releases you had?
So 361 Function, it's called 361 Function because my area code is 361.
Nice.
So 361 Function is an example of like me making music how I've never made it before. And on this latest project that I did, The Party, which is a name for the poetic album representing the youth, a lot of the songs are like they have that like party vibe and like just like smooth and like just like I don't know, dope. And so I guess people were just messing with it and they liked it and it kind of just like spread. And I mean, it's dope. I mean, I'll agree with them too. I liked it too. Whenever I was writing it, I didn't think it was going to be like
popular.
Yeah. I didn't think it was, but it ended up being that way and pretty happy about it.
Right now, we're going to get into 361 Function by Keanu Domini. You can find him on all socials at Keanu Domini. That's KeaNuDomini. Find him on all the socials. Here is his song called 361 Function, and then we're going to get right back into it with Keanu right here.
Hey, shawty looking bad up in that sundress. Now she looking at me like she just wanna undress. I said bring it over here, don't be shy unless. She said I'm about it if you are, I'm like say less. At the function, I can't even function. Shorty in the bed, now she wanna sleep over. I said bring your friends, we can have a sleepover. I like conversation, maybe we can get closer, yeah. Said that she was out but now I see her coming back in. And she coming up to me, said she wanna tap in. So I said come here baby, we can make it happen. Hold up, don't stop, make it drop. Sundress on, yeah, make the booty pop. Let me fix the point of view, cause you know I like to watch. Down Julio, all up in my double cup. Going for a ride, take a seat, buckle up. Got my hands on the hips, and I know how to handle. I'm the big dog, and I'm taking on the mantle. You went down the ride, so why you on the saddle? Out here on the wave, you just barely start to paddle. Keep it on the low, we don't really like the title. Just show, no tell, I'm inside the hotel. They wanna get inside, but first I need the details. Like, is that your best friend? Where's the rest then? Hold up, wait a minute, let me get my best friend. Yeah, I know she gon' let me pipe down. Tryna light it up, but shorty made me put the pipe down. Said she feeling tense, I said we could talk about it. I talk body language, and now she ain't so tight now. I know you try to call, but I'm between her legs right now. Whoa, shorty looking bad up in that sundress. Now she looking at me like she just wanna undress. I said bring it over here, don't be shy unless. She said I'm about it if you are, I'm like say less. At the function, I can't even function. Shorty in the bed, now she wanna sleep over. I said bring your friends, we can have a sleepover. I like conversation, maybe we can get closer, yeah. Come and bring it in, turn around, drop it right back. Put that thing on me, yeah, you know I like it like that. She taking shots from her back in the liquor. She giving me the service, yeah, you know I had to tip her. I know that's a girl, but she wanted me to pick her. Feeling like the man, yeah, I feel like alfalfa. You a little rascal, but homie, I'm the alpha. It ain't that serious, it ain't so deep. In case you're curious, she's in my sheets. Don't even bother, dog, just let her be. She act friendly around you, but for me, she a freak. Lied to your face and said she was asleep, ayy. Shorty looking bad up in that sundress. Now she looking at me like she just wanna undress. I said bring it over here, don't be shy unless. She said I'm about it if you are, I'm like say less.
That was 361 Function by Keanu Domini. Find it everywhere. You could watch the video on YouTube or catch it on all major digital streaming platforms. That was dope, dude.
Thanks.
So tell me a little bit about that video. How did that get going?
So, man, that was a hassle. We initially were gonna film it somewhere else, and we like scoped it out. I went and took like pictures and stuff, and I sent it to the videographer. Everything was like gonna happen, and then literally like a week before we were gonna film, owners of the property like canceled on us, and we're like that sucks because we had all these people involved, and like we're like, what are we gonna do? Well, back in 2020, I was doing this job. I was working construction. I wouldn't say construction. I was doing a driveway, but I had to I had to pour concrete, tie rebar, do the whole thing. And I remember the neighbor who lived next to the people who were doing the house, who we were, working on the house, people who lived next to them. I remember they had like a really nice backyard. And this was like 10 o'clock at night, dude. This was like 10 o'clock at night. And so I get in my car and I drive over there and I knock on their door. And I'm like, dude, I'm like full of doubt. I'm like, there's no way they're gonna let me like do this. And so the owner of the house, he opens the door. I explain the whole situation to him. And I'm like, please, like it would mean a lot if I could do this, like, please. And he was like, yeah, I mean, I don't see the problem with it. And once he said that, I was like, oh my God, thank God. And then so it was back on, but it's crazy how that happened. So yeah, that was someone's backyard.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Yeah, but it kind of goes to show like your perseverance as an artist. You're like, that's kind of like, that's a ballsy move to like just show up on someone's doorstep and say, hey, can I use your backyard? But like, look how it paid off though. Like that video wouldn't have been that video. Like that looked like a professional video, and it wouldn't have looked like that if you did it in like a back alley somewhere or something like that where anybody could get to.
It was a little scary on the way over there, but it was like now, so I chose now instead of never.
Right. Oh, seriously, dude. Now, you mentioned the album earlier, The Party, right? What inspired the acronym for The Party? Like you explained it earlier, but like what inspired the, using an acronym and all that?
It was accidental. I was, so this was like October 29th, junior in high school. And I was in my physics. I was in my physics class and I was still working on the first album. I was like nowhere near completing it though, but I was already thinking about the second one. And I knew I wanted to call it The Party, but I knew I wanted it to be deeper than just the party. Like, I don't know. I just knew I wanted it to be deeper than it just being called The Party. It's always deeper. Everything's always deeper than what it seems if you look long enough. And
absolutely.
And so I was like, what can I do? And then like I wrote out the words The Party, and then like it just like came to me. It didn't require much thought, and I feel like it was like from the universe. It was like giving me like what I needed. And I was like, The Party, the poetic album representing the youth. And then that's when it like a light bulb just went off, and I was like, dude, that's dope.
Yeah.
And so yeah, so that was like in the back burner for like, I don't know, all the way up until like August 2020. Yeah, like a little bit after like prime pandemic era, because I finished the first album in July of 2020, and that was like a hassle itself, just that whole thing trying to like be released. But the second one, yeah, it took me like 9 months to complete it. It was really fun. It was great. I loved working on it. The direction that I took with it, the music, the vibes, it was just like, yeah, it was just amazing, like being able to work on that. And yeah.
And what's your direction like when you're writing and everything? Like I always ask, like when I write, I'm picturing the video in my head. Some people picture the live performance. Are you focused on live performances, or are you mainly focused on the visual as an artist and the audio as an artist?
When I write, I definitely do like a music video kind of in my head, and more that I'm able to picture that, like the more I have to like write, like it's like a it's like a flow. Like you get into this like concentration, and once you have it, you're like on it.
What's your biggest challenge, you think, as an artist? Like one thing that you struggle with the most?
Biggest challenge as an artist, I think, just finding new ways to keep the ideas fresh and not stay in one place too long. Because I feel like if you stay in one place too long looking for inspiration, you won't find anything there. So I think it's always good to remember to like find other ways to get inspired instead of just sticking to one certain thing.
Do you ever find yourself becoming like sentimental with some of the things you write, like where you're like, dude, I have to release this the right way, and then it turns out like these are actually ones that you hold on to and don't ever release, but you're like, I'll release them someday? Or is that not you kind of just push everything out?
No, yeah, there's probably like 2 songs that I have that I've never released just because like I like it. I don't know if
they're like your babies in a way. You're like protecting them.
yeah. I don't. Maybe I might release them someday. I don't know, but yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Like for me as an artist, that's one thing I struggle with. Like I have like probably 20 tracks right now I could release. They're mixed, everything's ready to go. And it's been like that for the past 2 years, 3 years, something like that. And it's growing because what happens is I'm like, it's not where I want to be now. So I'm going to wait until it's where I want to be now. And then I'll start releasing this stuff. On the bright side, as an artist, we're supposed to be banking up projects anyways. Is there any hip hop albums coming out anytime soon that like you can't wait to hear? Or have you been out of the loop a little bit?
No, yeah, there's some albums coming out that I'm pretty psyched to hear. Jack Harlow's new album coming out May 6th. Come Home, the Kids Miss You. Kendrick Lamar is dropping another album in May.
That's it.
Logic is coming out.
That's it. You only had to say Kendrick Lamar. You know.
Okay. All right.
No, I'm kidding. So Logic, when's Logic coming out one?
He's supposed to be dropping in June. It's called Vinyl Days. But like, I'll be honest with you, bro. Like, I haven't been listening to like a lot of rap recently. Like, I've been listening to like such a plethora of like music, bro. It's like crazy. Like I said, I've been trying to like get inspiration like from anything and anywhere I can. Like, I really like Doja Cat. I'll be straight up with you. I think she's dope.
Yeah.
Olivia Rodrigo, Megan Thee Stallion. Who else?
So like mainstream right now, right?
A little bit, yeah. But you know who Black Bear is?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, he's dope.
Oh yeah. No, and artists like him too, like people don't realize, like not even what you see, like behind the scenes too, he's talented. You know, the stuff he's doing behind boards and stuff. So it's like the other thing, what do you think it is about focusing on these and those sounds? Like, why do you think you're doing that? Is it because you're trying to blend different things into your own music, or you feel like you're going to be going a whole different direction yourself?
I think it's a little bit of both. For a little bit after I released the second project, I felt a little loss of like where to go in terms of like musical direction, because I don't know, like I had so much fun doing this second project, and once it was done, it was kind of like, oh, what do I do now?
Yeah.
And yeah, like so more recently I've just been like getting in tune with like all of this different music, and it's been inspiring me in like so many ways. And I think the next direction that I'm going to go with for this third project is just going to be like something really different that I've never done before, and I'm excited to see where it takes me.
What about instruments? Do you play any instruments?
I used to play the guitar when I was younger, and it was like I used to play the acoustic, and like I got lessons and everything, and then I stopped. I never should have stopped. and I want to pick it back up again.
You should, because one thing I've learned is that artists that are multifaceted now have more of a shot of making it than the ones that don't. And not
Mm.
even that. I mean, it could be multifaceted. Like behind the board, you could be great too as a producer, you know, so it could be that too. So it doesn't necessarily have to be guitar. But like when it comes down to that, speaking of which, do you have a lot of say behind the production of your songs, or are you kind of just searching for producers to, you know, make you beats and stuff like that?
So there's this one guy I work with. He's based out of Germany, and it's funny because whenever I was working on the second, literally like everything he me was like what I wanted. It's like he already knew without me telling him. So I didn't really need to say much. But more recently I had been more vocal about like sharing like, oh, well, maybe if we, switch up the drum pattern here, like let's I'm kind of like using him as like I'm speaking my ideas through him, but he's like taking them, and it's like we're making it together. You know what I'm saying? We're making it together, and
You got that connection.
yeah. And it's really dope to have that. And I think if if whoever may be watching this, if you're like a rapper or something, I think if you don't, I think you should try and find that. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have that, or if you don't produce, or if you don't, I mean, if you do have a producer right now and you guys aren't on that level, I think you should try that, because like good things happen when you voice your opinions on, kind of what you want.
And you can't force it either. Like the hardest part is like a lot of artists think that they have that and they don't, you know, and they think that they have that connection with somebody and they force it. And then you hear it in the music. You're like, no, that's not really. But like the thing is, when you do have it, it's rare. Like not all artists find that connection with a producer or another musician to collaborate on. So that's great that you did, especially this early on, you know, like you got you got a long career ahead of you, and like you're killing it already, and you have this connection already. Like this could go far in itself, you know. And just the fact that like you made this connection early, it's like who knows if you're going to make the same type of connection with a producer in the future again. You know, you're probably going to circle back and work with this dude. So that is impressive, you know, and that's great to hear. Like if there's producers in the industry right now, like which producers stand out to you the most? And when I say, you know, I really shouldn't say producers because they're beat makers. Beat makers and producers are two totally different people. But like, but yeah, beat makers, you know, and producers. I mean, a lot of them are producers.
Okay, for producing, I think Tyler the Creator is extraordinary, because he's really in there like with the piano, and like he's like piecing all this stuff together. I love him as an artist too. His evolution as an artist is great. So Tyler the Creator is also an inspiration. Beat makers, bro, I like Metro Boomin, I like Take Heath, I like Hit Boy. Oh, he's new, I can't remember his name. Jetson Made. Yeah, Jetson Made.
Mm-hmm.
I like those guys. They're like killing it right now. And I'm sure there's like a bunch of other people out there who I haven't named that I'm forgetting. Kanye West as a producer or beat maker.
Right.
I like his too.
But no, that's a dope list, dude. I mean, and like beats are like unlimited now. I'm so jealous now. Like if I started out now as an artist, like there's so many freaking beats out there now. You know, like there was a lot back then, but they weren't as easy to get as they are now. Like that's dope. So, anything about Keanu Domini that people would be surprised to know that they don't already?
Can't drink regular milk. I'm allergic to dairy.
Dude, too many parallels here. Yeah, dude. Not even like lifelong. It just happened. It was just like within the past decade.
Same, bro. It happened
That's so crazy, dude. But anyways, man, I appreciate you coming on here. If you're looking for Keanu Domini anywhere, you can find him at Keanu Domini on all the socials. You can also find him on YouTube at Keanu Domini, and that's KeanuDomini. Thanks again for coming on, man.
Bet, for sure. No, thank you for having me.